Okay, video 2. I'm sorry this is so long, guys. Okay, going to the police has been an ordeal. If you follow any Japanese news, and I will give you this information if you haven't, there have been in the last couple of years since all this started, news stories about the police not handling stalker situations correctly, and also not being enough. One incident was, I think it was somebody's ex was getting stalked and harassed. They were getting stalked and harassed by their ex, and they ended up being killed by the ex. And they had moved and I think remarried. And the only reason the ex knew where that person was now is because the police told him the information when they were questioning him about his threatening emails and things like that. The police told him where she lived. And also, recently there was a story about a woman being stalked, that she went to the police, things were going okay, like she was doing the proper things, and she had gotten home. She called the police, or like I think she was supposed to, like a check-in, how are things, I'm home safe now, but the guy was in her closet. And after she finished the call with the police, he came out and killed her. So this is in my mind that the police aren't too helpful, and I did not want to share too much of that with my flatmate because, I mean, she was the main focus of this guy, that I didn't want her to like worry even more. I mean, she already had to deal with not really understanding Japanese, so not knowing what's being said and only knowing what the translator or I can tell her. I can't imagine. It's very scary. Okay, so first trip to the police, their attitude was a bit stepped up in a way because he was outside the house. Because all along it's been, we know who it is, just, tell him stop. We've talked to him, it's gotten better, things like that. So now that he was outside the apartment, they were taking it a bit more seriously, but still not taking it all that seriously. And they said they were going to talk to him again because that worked in the past. They took pictures of us, took my story about the guy that I thought was following me, which as of now, nothing more has come of that. So it could have just been the timing and, but anyways, so they took my information. Because I had it in my head that maybe the guy that followed me knew the other guy, talked to the other guy, and that's how the other guy knew where we lived, because of me. But anyways, so they said they were going to talk to him. They took our photos and were for like, this is what they look like. And they said, okay, we will also get a photo of him just so we know, like, we're talking to the right person. So that happens, and the next time the police are talked to, I was not there. But what ended up happening, because it was a work night and I had to be at work, so I wasn't there. They had a bunch of photos, as like in America you would have like this usual suspects kind of photos and lineup photos, and pick the guy out. He was not in those photos. And they had taken a picture of the guy of who they thought it was. He was not in that in the photos. So for 2 years, we felt safer. We did not move and things like that because the police thought they knew who this guy was. Turns out they didn't. So my flatmate and I were quite living in fear. We have separate bedrooms and things, but we ended up camping here in the living room because we didn't want to sleep alone in our bedrooms for, oh, it was a month and a half that we did that. But, yeah. So, also, the police at that time, seeing that, well, they didn't have a photo or know who the guy was, asked us to get a photo of this guy. And so what started happening, and Interactive had been great with this, that the morning she had to take or every day actually after the first incident, they had somebody drive her to school, and if there was no IC available to drive her to school, a taxi was provided. So, yeah. So there was another day that he was outside the house again. Second time. But he wasn't at the stairs. He was a little bit away. And we went back to the police. And they confirmed that we need to get a photo of this guy. And they also made sure she knew how to call 911, what to say, and everything like that. Well, there was one morning, because I would walk her downstairs to the car, and she would go off to work, and then I'd go back inside. But there was one morning, I went out, and the shorty that I am, I couldn't see down to the street from the railing outside the apartment. So I was outside, and like, texting and waiting for her, just like, last minute, grab the key, grab the umbrella type thing. And she came out and she said, Michelle, take your phone out. He's down there right now. So we took our phones out. I do have video and things of him and pictures. So we did that. And we went to the police and gave them the pictures. The next couple of days, the police, or the next week or so, the police did kind of a sting operation where they were around the station, and one morning my flatmate had to walk to the local school. There was no more driving happening at that point. That the police officer kind of followed her to work, which was nice. So we could see their presence in the morning. So I still walked her downstairs to make sure no one was there. And then I could see like a policeman going off after her. But then one day after that happened, I get a knock on the door, open it. 3 of the police officers are there. They're kind of dressed like high school students a bit, like sweaters and things. And they said, we got him. We talked to him. We could only talk to him a little bit because he had a train to catch. Yeah. But we know his name, we know where he lives, and we're setting an appointment to talk to his parents. Because this particular guy, the real guy, is also mentally challenged, but not as bad as the original, apparently, that they thought. So, once again, well, they talked to him. And what turned out happening, we got information about him. He works in this direction, he takes this train, comes home on this train. And his mother passed away a while ago. And it was kind of really weird to have this information about this guy that you've been living in fear of. But, yeah, so he had been told not to come past the station towards our direction. In a sense, a restraining order that he could not come down and be in the area. And so far, everything's been okay. But with the coming of the new school year, we are both moving. Understandably, we are both moving. And, yeah. But, yeah, that's my rambling about the police part of all this. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. I really did not want these to be too long, but both of them are about 10 minutes. So I'm sorry. Okay. Until next time. Ciao.